Our editor of popgoestheweek.com. Good to have both of you with us this morning.
Thank you.
So we heard from a few folks there, but Robbie, tell us, newlyweds we're seeing getting older, and I think we even have some of the numbers we're going to throw up on the screen just to show you how much older people are as they're getting married now. Does it make more sense? Does a later start to a marriage help that marriage's longevity?
I mean, it can because you're more mature. Hopefully, by the time you make that choice, you more are the person that you will be. And hopefully, you're really in a better financial position. Educationally, you have more under your belt. So it can be a good thing. If you get married young and you don't know who you are, the chances of that relationship lasting are very slim.
So it can be, but there are times when perhaps it has backfired.
I mean,
is there ever a time when living together is in fact a bad idea?
Yeah, because living together really always gives the person the option to get out. So, and also it's like a trial for marriage. So you're trying out to be a husband, you're trying out to be a wife. Most of the time it's a wife trying out, like, do you want me to be your wife?
Right, and it was taboo once not to live together or have sex before marriage, to live together. So now it's like I can do that and not get married? What's wrong with that? You know, it's a great test run.
The pressure to get married really isn't there. And also, living together and being married are not one and the same thing, because the person who's living together knows that they can get out easier.
Right.
Groucho Marx once said marriage is a wonderful institution, but who wants to live in an institution?
And you bring up a good point, because marriage for a lot of people, or some people, doesn't always mean a positive thing. For certain people, it means that it can make your relationship bad in some way, or ugly, or it can even signify death to certain people.
And you know, this is a lot of people in this generation, their parents got divorced, their friends' parents got divorced, so they're like, why do I want to put myself through that? If I know I love my partner, then why do I need a piece of paper to prove it and spend a lot of money to get married?
There are also, you talk about people coming from broken homes or having dealt with this in the past, even if it wasn't their own home. But there are also these beautiful depictions of marriage that we see all the time on TV and in movies. Is that, in some ways, does that make it a little more difficult because you have this grand idea of the perfection that is marriage?
Absolutely. When you're a kid at Cinderella, for the girl, you got to find that one Prince Charming, the one that's going to wake you up from your sleep. And nowadays, Twilight's a great example. There's this love that we just met, we barely know each other, and yet somehow we can overcome everything. I know you want to suck my blood and possibly eat my flesh, but Twilight, you're the one for me.
That's supposed to happen after divorce. But it's true, this notion of a soulmate can actually be damaging, because people compare their real relationship, which has problems, difficulties, and challenges, to this idea of what love is supposed to be. And we don't really talk about what relationships are supposed to be. You compare reality to fantasy, and that can be quite dangerous for your relationship.
In the movie, they can overcome every obstacle. In real life, you just find them annoying because of the way they brush their teeth, or the way where they put their clothes.
As you said, and then it gives you that chance to get out. There are other reasons, though, too. Higher education. Yeah. People are working longer. People are waiting longer to start a family. Is there anything wrong with that in terms of those reasons to wait?
Absolutely. And we are in this instant update society. I don't know what I'm going to have for dinner tomorrow, let alone what I'm doing a week or a year from now. People used to stay at the same job for 20 years. Now that never happens. People thinking, a marriage forever? And the vows are honor and obey? Who wants to sign up for that?
But
so they're thinking, I'll wait.
Can you come back from that, though? Because, that is an extreme, but it's definitely happening. And if you can't commit to someone, I mean, what does that do ultimately to society?
But maybe you're not ready, because I really do think that adolescence is extending, in some cases, into a person's 20s.
I would agree with that.
So I do think that really it's taking us much longer to mature for a whole host of reasons. We have so many more options, even in terms of women having children. They don't necessarily have to have children within their 20s or 30s. Now women can have children in their 40s, and I think the options will only get greater for women in terms of not having to battle that biological clock.
And for some celebrities, marriage is the new dating. They get married 3, 4, or 5 times. It's the new dating for some people.
Which that's not exactly the best example to study either, is it? Really some new ideas about it. Great to have you both with us this morning.
Thank you.
Brian Balthazar and Robi Ludwig joining us. And now here's Harry.